Hello, you sports fans out there, and welcome to our March Madness show. And we are accompanied by Mr. Taybor Pepper, Michigan State alumni, and Green Bay Packer long snapper. Great you could come in today.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun doing stuff like this. I was in my school's news show back in Slane High School.
All right. So we usually don't have any hot seat headlines when it comes to brackets, but we do this week because of all the NFL free agency madness that's been going on here. Kirk Cousins signed with the Minnesota Vikings a few minutes ago. 3 years, $84 million.
All guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's a lot of guaranteed money.
Yeah, I was hoping.
You're hoping Denver?
Yes, I was hoping Denver. But now I've got to root for Kirk. I got to root for Kirk and Trey Wayne's on the same team. They're both Sparties, so I'm glad Kirk got a deal. You know, he deserves it. He's a great quarterback. So just stinks that we got to go against Rodgers and Mitch Trubisky for Detroit in the same division. So it's going to be an interesting season. Well, with Allen Robinson going to Chicago today too, it's another one. Just keeps hurting us Lions, man.
Especially if Mitchell Trubisky develops on his sophomore year, doesn't have
oh yeah,
a sophomore slump you could say, but if he improves more, then yeah, Lions are in for it.
Oh yeah, if Trubisky keeps developing, Jordan Howard keeps producing the way that he's been, Allen Robinson keeps
and they have
adds
Trey
more.
Cole too.
Oh yeah, NFC North's going to be it's going to be a stacked division this year. It's going to be tough. So, and Case Keenum went to Denver, so. Denver got their quarterback. Arizona doesn't have one. Neither does New York. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So let's get into the brackets. So we're gonna start. Me and Taybor are gonna take the East region. So we're gonna start up at the top. We got Villanova, who went 30-4 on the year, playing the winner of LIU Brooklyn and Radford tonight. I think all of us here are gonna take Villanova. I don't think a 16 seed's gonna do it this year. So, and yeah, Villanova just looks powerful. They always do. So, and then we have Virginia Tech, 8 seed, and Alabama's a 9. I don't know about you, Eric, but these games are always toss-ups. They are
a little bit, yeah.
Every year, because you don't know. You just don't know. So.
Picked Alabama. I think the power that's stored in all of their crazy hair on their team. They're all hair, all NCAA hair team. I'm going with Alabama for
and
that.
They had a big run in the SEC tournament as well too, so that could maybe carry over to NCAA tournament.
I agree with you, Taybor. I'm going to take Bama as well on that one. Just also in the way that they looked in the even though they got bounced early in the SEC tournament, they still look really good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, next, we have number 5, West Virginia, and number 12, Murray State. As you know, all year, I'm going West Virginia.
They're overrated. I'm sorry, my friend.
Well, I'm going to wait till we get down to the Midwest. I'm going to say another team that's overrated. But so, West Virginia. I don't think West Virginia is going to go that far. I think they'll make it to the Sweet 16, but that's about it.
I would agree with you.
So, and then underneath we have number 4, Wichita State, and number 13, Marshall. Shockers always make a huge run in the tournament.
They always stay consistent.
So that'd be a 4 against a 5. And then we have Florida against St. Bonaventure, winner of St. Bonaventure, UCLA. You're probably taking Florida?
Yes, sir.
Of course.
I love the Gators. They got a good baseball program down there, so.
Because you can't always pick favorites. I'm going to pick. I don't care who the winner of St. Bonaventure UCLA is. Winner of that game is going to be Florida.
Nice.
So
I'm with it.
I like that one. You can't go favorites because it's impossible. So and then what do we got? What do we got next, Taybor?
Got Texas Tech, number 3 seed against Stephen F. Austin. I for this one, Stephen F. Austin is one of those schools that can make it to the tournament pretty consistently. So I put this as my kind of first round, somewhat of a shock upset. I think it could happen. They're both from Texas. You get chip on your shoulder, Stephen F. Austin coming in the first round of the tournament. I think it could happen. So that's what I put for my bracket.
I do like the gutsy call of taking Stephen F. Austin, but Texas Tech looks strong. I mean, they look strong. So
Yeah, bad nose.
they do. I know with this.
They kind of beat Texas twice or 3 times maybe, but that's okay.
Well, if you're being a huge Texas, yeah, we'll get to them later. They're on the other side. So I'm gonna go Texas Tech. And what we got next?
Number 7 seed Arkansas against 10 seed Butler.
Another toss-up. 7 and 10 seeds, 8, 9 seeds. Tough. They're always tough to pick.
Plus, especially with Butler too, how they've always been
Yeah.
able to shine in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I like Butler. Butler always makes a huge run. Not they don't make big runs all the time, but when they do, they make it big. They make it count. And
2 seed.
who'd you go with, Purdue or not Purdue? That's the next one.
I went with Butler just because they always find a way to shock someone. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then who do we have to close out the region?
2 seed Purdue and 15 seed CS Fullerton.
Purdue.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Purdue is a powerhouse. Even though they lost to Michigan in the I know you're smiling. But Purdue will make a run, especially in that bracket.
Yep.
So we're gonna shift over to the Midwest. Brian,
I don't
is that Eric?
That's Eric. my
That's
friend.
Eric.
I got the South.
No, I'm the Midwest.
Oh, you're the Midwest.
Yeah.
I got the South.
All right.
Here's
One
some
out of 3.
mess-ups, that's
I got
all
it.
right.
All right.
All right.
What do we got?
The first matchup, we got number 1 Kansas versus number 16 Penn. Got to go with the Jayhawks because it's
Well-
the NCAA tournament, you know.
As much as I dream of a 16 seed beating a 1, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I was gonna say.
I dream of it every year. I'm like, all right, it's gonna happen this year. It never happens. So, what we got next?
Next, we got Seton Hall versus NC State. I got to go with Seton Hall. Like, they're another team that you never think about, but they actually do make runs in the NCAA tournament. So
Because I was watching bracketology, and they were saying about this game, like they have the exact same record. They're almost they can't be the same seed, but they're so close in ranking. It's tough. It's tough to pick. I gotta go with Seton Hall, just the way that they can make a run in the Big East. So.
next,
Yep.
we got Clemson versus New Mexico State. I'm gonna go upset New Mexico State.
Oh.
All right.
Do you have any reason, Ben?
I just don't think Clemson's good at basketball.
Well, we know they're good at football, but
Yeah, they're good at football. I just don't think they're good at basketball.
All
right. So, all right, and then who do we have underneath?
We got Auburn and
Charleston.
Charleston.
There we go. I had to go SEC. I got to take Auburn.
Yeah, I don't even know
I like
who
them.
Charleston
I've
is.
never even heard of Charleston.
And then who we got?
We got TCU versus either Arizona State or Syracuse,
Syracuse barely got in.
but I'm gonna go
They-
upset.
You're
going
taking.
with you.
Oh, you're taking the winner.
I'm gonna
I'm going with you.
because I just feel like the winner, like, because they're both good teams.
Did you look at my bracket? Because we have all the same upsets.
No, I agree with Ben and Taybor here. I like the winner of that game. I really do. And then it's the
Let's see, Ben.
Then we got Michigan State versus Bucknell.
Come on now.
You know me, I gotta go Michigan State. So
Yeah.
it's no brainer,
Spartans.
really. You probably got the upset.
I'm going with Michigan State. Chill out.
Not yet. He doesn't have State knocked out yet.
Correct.
I would have
mean-
thought you had the upset.
I will say Michigan State, I mean, they got straight up bullied in the Big Ten tournament
Yes,
that
they
last
did.
year
Yep.
against Michigan.
Yes, they did.
I agree with you.
And they've got to pull up their big boy pants. Izzo, he's
This
gonna
is where
get
Miles
them
Bridges
right.
has to step up,
This is where they all have to step up.
basically.
Yeah. And teams are going to be coming after MSU just like Michigan came after them. They're going to see that they gotta play the type of basketball where you attack the ball. You're not just, oh, I'm playing defense. Oh, we're on offense. Michigan was attacking the physical basketball the entire game. They weren't just kind of like laying back. On inbounds, anytime Miles Bridges had the ball, anytime Cassius had the ball, they were going after him. So we got to be ready for that type of basketball.
Especially in the bracket that State's in.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for
Especially-
sure.
And who we have next?
Next, we have Rhode Island versus Oklahoma.
Don't know how they got in.
Now, I know this isn't an upset, but I say it's an upset. I'm going with Rhode Island over Oklahoma.
I know what you
'cause
mean, yeah.
Oklahoma's struggling, so.
Please, Tell me how they got in over Oklahoma State.
It must
Views.
because in the beginning of the season they had a very strong run. That's the only thing I can think of because I
No.
know they had at least like 6 ranked wins. I want to say
Until they played
like
Texas.
against like ranked. Yeah.
But they lost 9 out of the last 11. That's horrendous. That's
the views.
Just read a
horrible.
strongly worded email
For
to
the
the
views.
rectality experts. Let's go.
It is. It's for the views.
That's
Florida
huge.
Gulf coasting over Oklahoma. I don't care. If
They would
something
have been
like
playing
that.
North Carolina if they beat Lipscomb.
Yeah, I know. That would have been a blow.
That would have been
And
insane.
then
The last one, your favorite, Duke versus
Iona.
Yeah, Iona.
Aaron.
I gotta take Duke.
I was gonna say, yeah.
What are you thinking? Come on now. I'm not a so. Back up to the top. We got the South.
Over in the South, we got Virginia. Okay, moving on.
I like how you said that.
All right. Then we have another toss-up.
Creighton, Kansas State.
Another tough one.
Very. It's
Creighton. I like Creighton.
yeah.
I like Creighton.
It's a game
Another
though
one
where
of
you
those-
wouldn't be surprised if Kansas State did win though because of
Yeah.
how similar these teams are.
So it's an interesting. Those 8 and
Little
9 seeds and
Those are the
se-
tough ones.
And 7 and 10, they always ruin people's brackets.
Yeah.
For
Not as
sure.
much as like the 15 beating the 2 or 3 beating 14. It's
You know
always
that
those
one year that
brackets.
happened with State. I'm sorry. But
Don't go there, dude.
That was painful. That was my senior
Sorry.
year of
Oh,
college.
man.
That was painful.
Yeah, not a good go out. So, what do we got next?
All right, we got Kentucky and Davidson.
Sorry, Steph, I'm going with Kentucky.
I'm going
I
Kentucky.
mean, let's hope they can make a good run too.
I don't know.
Kentucky
I don't feel like Kentucky's going to be able to make a run. It's
I don't
one of
think
those
they're gonna
teams
go
where it's
far.
like they're so good for so long. They've got to have
Yeah.
the year where they fall flat.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Then Kentucky's a 5. We'll see how long the
Yeah.
magic
I mean,
can
a
last.
24-10 season, a lot of schools would be thrilled with that, but I feel like Kentucky's just, it's just one of those years where they lose all excitement whenever you have a year like that.
Exactly.
So, then
All right, then we got Arizona and Buffalo.
I think
For this
Arizona
one,
can
I'm
make a big
feeling
push.
Arizona.
Arizona.
Even though with the other problems they got, I still.
A lot of
think-
Well, it's been a
Yeah.
roller coaster season for
The
Arizona.
NCAA in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Mm.
been a roller
Yep.
coaster for Arizona, Louisville, Michigan State. It's been a
Even
roller
Duke,
coaster.
North
Yeah,
Carolina, all the big schools basically.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been, it's been bad this year. So and then what do we got next, Eric?
Miami and Loyola.
Loyola, Chicago.
That's a new one. I'm gonna say that's definitely a new one for me.
Former Sparty, Denzel Valentine's brother, assistant
That's right,
coach for
Coach Drew.
Loyola, Chicago.
Yep.
Yep, Drew. But I think the U's gonna take care of Loyola.
I think I want to give this one to Loyola.
Really? Okay.
Really? Just
I want to
Okay.
because?
give them a chance.
Okay.
I'll give them a
Okay.
chance.
You
I
obviously
like
didn't
that. I
watch
like that.
Miami play this year,
Yes, I did.
Wow.
did you?
I did.
They were crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Now, crazy as they were in football, or no, not
Turnover chain.
No, yeah, they're about the same.
about the same.
Yeah.
And then we have
Tennessee at Wright State.
Tennessee's had a great year this season.
Tennessee's. Well, but
Yep.
they struggle against Kentucky in the SEC
That's true.
championship game. Wright State winners of the Horizon. Should have been Oakland. One day will come for that, but I'm going with the Vols. I gotta go with
Yeah.
Tennessee. So,
I haven't watched any Tennessee basketball, so I went with Wright State just as kind of
Whoa.
a bracket buster type deal.
I like it. I like the pick.
3-14 isn't that far fetched, but
I know exactly what to
It
think
can
of if that
happen.
upset does happen.
Yes.
yeah.
All right. Then we have Nevada and Texas.
All right. Now
Ben.
you're the big Texas
Ben.
guy at the table here. So you're taking Texas, obviously,
I'm
right?
gonna
Yes,
take
sir.
Texas.
I'm taking Nevada.
Nevada.
Nevada. I have.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
bud.
take- I'm gonna
Sorry,
roll
Ben.
Ben.
You didn't look at their schedule. Their schedule is easy. It's gonna be a good game. It's not gonna be a blowout, but
Yeah. And then
Cincinnati and Georgia State.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. And then close it out.
Got the West.
We got the West.
We got 1-seeded Xavier against, I believe it's Texas Southern was the winner.
No, that's tonight, I believe.
So it's going to be the winner between NC Central and Texas Southern, but
Correct.
no matter what, I mean,
Xavier.
you got to go Xavier.
Xavier. So
And the next matchup, we have Missouri versus Florida State. I mean, doesn't Missouri now have their top star back after injury, surgery? Michael Porter?
I believe they do.
So.
I believe they do.
But even though with that, I'm going to go with the upset Florida State, just because I don't think Missouri's going to be able to, like, coerce well with the new player they have.
The last 8 and 9 game. God, another one's going to bust my bracket. But
Then next we have 5th seeded Ohio State versus South Dakota State, which is the 12th seed. I mean, even though I don't like Ohio State, you got to go with, I mean, reality.
Yep.
You got to assume they're going to beat them.
But I'm going to pull the upset.
Oh.
I'm going to say South Dakota State beats Ohio State.
Okay.
Just on the fact that I don't like Ohio State.
So you're going with Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. All right.
And then next you have 4th seeded Gonzaga versus 13th seeded UNC Greensboro.
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga always makes a big run.
The Zags
Always.
make a huge run every year.
They make a run, but they can't finish it off.
Correct.
That's a lot of
That's
shade you
true.
just threw, Ben.
Correct. But hey, that's accurate though.
I took them last year, and they busted my bracket.
Hey, I was right last year.
You like Gonzaga in this?
Yeah, I got Gonzaga
Okay.
Yeah.
too.
Man.
That's pretty easy.
Next, we have 6th seeded Houston versus 11th seeded San Diego State.
Kawhi Leonard School, San Diego State.
And that's why I'm going to pick Houston.
I'm picking
I'm gonna
San
pick
Diego
Houston.
State.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
San Diego State. I like that.
I'm with you on that.
Now, the next
You're a
one-
favorite as well. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
But we
yeah.
got Michigan, who's 3rd seeded, against Montana, which is 14th. I mean, like
Yeah.
we've been talking about, Michigan's having a big run. They know how to
Yep.
attack the ball versus everything. I'm going to go with Michigan.
I have to take Michigan as well.
They're hot right now.
I'm not.
Yes, Ben.
I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
going crazy. Take Montana. You know.
It may change in the next
Michigan's
round.
not going to get knocked out yet in my bracket. Not yet. They will, but
I give them a little bit further.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
Next we have 7th seeded Texas A&M versus 10th seeded Providence. Another toss-up, you could say. Anything could happen.
okay.
I'm going to go with the upset in this one.
I'm going with Providence
I'm
as
going to go
well.
with Providence.
You like Providence, Eric, or you like A&M?
I'm thinking Providence.
All right.
Yes, sir. Probably.
All right.
I'm surprised you're not taking a Texas school here.
It's not Texas, that's why. You got to stick with one Texas.
And then the next one is the last one is
The last one, we got 2 seeded North Carolina and then 15th seeded Lipscomb. I mean,
NC, North
you
Carolina.
got to go with North Carolina.
All right, so that's the first round. We're now in the round of 32. I'm gonna fill out my bracket all the way to the Elite 8, and then Eric will fill out his, and then Ben and Brian, and so on and so forth. So, and each of us are gonna explain why we took the teams that we're going with, because now the brackets are gonna change.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna start up in the South, Virginia Creighton. I'm gonna go for Virginia. So, and then it got Kentucky against Arizona. Again, it's a toss-up. I'm going with Kentucky.
I'm going to go with Arizona.
I'm going to go with
Arizona.
Arizona, too. I think the upset. I think they can make a long run.
Okay. Then I have Miami against Tennessee. I gotta take the balls.
I got the U.
Ooh.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. They just play good basketball. Like, the couple games I watched, they were just playing really good basketball. So,
Then we have Nevada against Cincinnati.
I got Texas, Cincinnati.
I do, too, but I think this is where Texas falls.
No.
Yeah.
I think
Whoa,
so.
whoa.
I say Texas goes on.
Wow. That'd be a major upset.
And then I'm gonna go down to the West. Xavier, Florida State. I gotta take Xavier. I mean, come on, that's obvious. Now, Ohio State, Gonzaga. This is where Ohio State falls.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Gonzaga.
Is this where Michigan falls?
San Diego State, Michigan. I have to take Michigan.
Yes, sir. Yes, you do.
Providence and North Carolina. This is another toss-up. I gotta take North Carolina.
Yes, you
Gotta
do.
Take the Tar Heels.
It's all right then.
Flip it over. Go to the East. Nova and Alabama. Villanova, of course. West Virginia, Wichita State.
This is, in my opinion, where West Virginia falls.
Yep.
This is where they rise.
All right.
It's going to be a shocker.
Wow. Trademark copyright. It's our video.
Door.
So I got then I have the winner of St. Bonaventure UCLA against Texas Tech. I got to take Texas Tech, of course. Then Butler, Purdue. Come on, it's Purdue. Right. So you got. I've seen over there. You have Florida.
I got
Yes,
Florida
sir.
as well.
I
got Florida beating Texas Tech.
Why?
See that?
Why
I got
that?
Texas Tech over
I think Florida's
Florida.
just to make a deep run. It's going to be that team that no one sees
Asleep?
coming.
A Cinderella.
They did last
Cinderella.
The Cinderellas.
They did last year
pretty
too.
far last
Exactly.
year.
Yeah. So and then the last bracket, Kansas against Seton Hall in the Midwest. Kansas. Clemson and Auburn. This is where Clemson ends, so I got to go with Auburn. Arizona State, Syracuse against Michigan State, Michigan State.
I mean,
Rhode Island, Duke, Duke.
thank you.
All right, and then we'll stay in the Midwest and we'll go backwards. Michigan State and Duke. This is where Grayson Allen's career ends.
This is
right
where
here.
Grayson Allen still keeps going because Duke's going to win.
Nope.
And Marvin Bagley.
Nope.
Yep.
Duke's little run with Grayson Allen. Nah, he can go trip people in the NBA. Well, I care. I don't.
I mean, if that's what
He's
he
going to be
wants.
tripping people in D-League, let's be honest.
What do you got to say about that one?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
That's what I thought.
No comment.
Then I have Kansas and Auburn. I have Kansas.
I saw Kansas going very much.
Then I have Texas Tech, Purdue. Boiler up, Purdue.
This is where you all think I am going to go crazy. I have Florida, Purdue.
You say
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say Florida.
Gators.
Whoa.
I'm not going to do that, but yes.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They stand there and they go
Yeah.
like that. And that's what they're going to do. And Purdue, it's not going to win.
And then I have Villanova against West Virginia. Villanova. That's where West Virginia's run ends.
I got another
At least they do
shocker.
end.
I got Wichita beating Villanova.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, Ben. The 1 seed.
Jeez. And then back down to the West, Michigan, North Carolina. See ya, Michigan, North Carolina.
This one's tough.
I want Michigan to make it that far to NC
But you
because
gotta-
NC has a lot of people that watch the games, and I want everyone to see Michigan lose. I want as many people as possible across this nation to watch Michigan lose.
I do think this is where Michigan ends.
See, there you go. There you go.
Not yet. I'll give him one more.
Wow.
Xavier Gonzaga. Gonzaga's
I'm gonna
run.
go Gonzaga, too.
Gonzaga's run continues.
Nope.
I think this is where
Whoa.
the 1 seed in this scenario would be upsetted.
Yep. Then I have Tennessee, Cincinnati. I take the Vols.
I
I'm gonna
say
take
this
Cincinnati.
is where Texas goes down. They go down to the U.
Wow. Oh, that's a
Then-
toss-up for you, man.
Yeah.
Then Virginia against Kentucky, Virginia. So now I'm down to the Elite Eight. I have Virginia, Tennessee.
Yep.
Oh my God. I gotta go Virginia. It kills me. I have to take Virginia. And then Gonzaga, North Carolina. North Carolina wins
Wow.
by one.
By 1.
By one. Nova, Purdue. Boiler up.
Purdue.
And then Kansas, Michigan State. Spartiana.
Oh, you're waiting for that rematch
And then so
again.
my final four, I have Virginia, North Carolina, Purdue, Michigan State.
Not what I got.
I got Michigan State over Purdue. And then I have Virginia over North Carolina. So I have Michigan State, Virginia in the national championship, and Sparty's bringing home a title. And then the tiebreaker, I'm going to say 68. 68 to 60, Michigan State.
Wow.
Final. So, who do you have?
And you
For
lead
my
it.
final four.
Let's go Elite Eight.
Elite Eight. Got Wichita State versus Florida.
Wow.
Then
Okay.
I got
That'll be a deep
Kansas
run.
versus Michigan State. I got Gonzaga versus Michigan. And then I got Arizona versus Miami, Florida.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, then go swimming down to your final four.
Got Miami, Florida versus Gonzaga.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
Got Wichita State versus Michigan State. And then in the final two, as much as this hurts me, but I feel like Wichita State will pull up the upset against Michigan State.
Wow.
And it'll be Miami, Florida,
Wichita
and Wichita State in the final.
And then who wins it?
We're going to go with Miami, Florida.
Whoa.
Dang,
dude. Talk
You can
about
make a lot of money if you end up being
talk,
right, Ben.
talk about a sleeper bracket.
You never know.
So, let's go with your Elite Eight down to your national
Yeah,
champion.
you kept looking at me,
With
so.
mine, I kind of went with what I want to see happen.
All right, then.
What I want
Okay.
to see happen, I got Virginia, Tennessee in the South. I got Virginia winning that. Xavier and Michigan in the West. Michigan's going there. Nova and Purdue in the East. I got Nova going there. Kansas and Michigan State in the Midwest. I got Michigan State.
Okay.
Comes down to the Final Four. Virginia and Michigan. I got Michigan.
That is what Taybor said. Want them the biggest stage possible so they can lose.
Then it's Nova and Michigan State.
You got Nova.
I got State.
Yes.
Whoa.
I want to see Michigan and Michigan State in the
That'd be
final.
Imagine
insane.
that,
Oh my
dude. Wow.
Third time they
Tucker-
played this year.
You know, and
Make
everyone
it the
says,
biggest
"Oh,
game."
Big Ten championship, bragging rights." If your theory's true, talk about bragging rights.
That's why I
For
want
that.
this game.
Oh yeah. That's a bold
I
one.
can see a lot of people taking state
I
on that
wanna
game.
see
too,
His is
seeing
more
all
bold
the
than
other
yours.
2 wins.
I
Well,
like
yeah,
those.
his.
No.
It's go big or go home.
I don't know
Like,
what's going on with you over there.
Listen,
But
we had
I
a rough
want to
day
see
today.
Michigan.
You want to talk
Michigan
about
State game
go
too.
big or go home?
Let me-
You got to read my bracket. So in the Elite Eight,
Let's go.
I have in the South Arizona facing Cincinnati, and I have
Okay.
Arizona winning that game.
Okay.
And in the West, I
I like
have Gonzaga
Zaga.
facing North Carolina. I'm sorry, I think that's where North Carolina ends because, like we talked about, Gonzaga always making that run. I'm gonna go Gonzaga. Then in the East, I have Villanova and Florida. Sorry, Ben. I mean Villanova. I think will be on top. And then in the Midwest, I know you're gonna hate me, but I had Duke beating Kansas.
I respect it.
Duke beating Kansas.
Duke beat, and then your final four.
In the Final Four, I have Villanova versus Duke. I mean, even though I don't want to say it, I gotta say Villanova's got to beat them.
Okay.
And then Arizona versus Gonzaga, I have Arizona winning that game. And this is where you guys will really hate me. I'm gonna have Arizona win it all.
Over Duke.
Over Duke, over Villanova, or over anyone they face. I think that's going to be the major upset.
The NCAA
I
is gonna
am
explode.
shocked. I am. No,
They're
I
gonna
am
be-
personally shocked that you don't have Duke winning the whole thing.
Because I don't think they're going to finish in the end, especially if all the, well, you can say chip on their shoulder Arizona have of all the allegations against them with the DeAndre Ayton and their coaching.
Right.
But when it
This
comes
is
to
their way of
scoring,
coming back at
that's
them.
their way of coming back, too. And I'm going to say the score is actually going to be high scoring. I'm going to say it's going to be 85
Whoa,
to 82.
that's a high one.
72-70.
Finally,
I didn't put one.
let's talk about
Hit
your Elite
OT.
Eight down to the national championship.
So, I kind of sense like a lot of storytelling in everybody's brackets, but I think this one pretty much follows script for how
It
a
would go.
bracket should go or could go. Just because anything can happen. I know earlier I said Kentucky's going to fall flat on their face, but as I was filling this out, they're a 5 seed. They're Kentucky. So for my Elite Eight, I have Kentucky against Cincy.
Okay.
And then in the West, I have Xavier against NC. And I hate putting NC that far forward into the bracket because both my parents went to University of Illinois, and I was like born and bred an Illini fan, and I went to the national championship. Well, I actually followed Illinois all the way from the Sweet 16. I saw every game from the Sweet 16 to the championship game
Wow.
in St. Louis, and they lost to North
Oh.
Carolina. They got completely spanked. So I hate North Carolina, but they're going to make it to the Elite Eight in my bracket.
Okay.
East is Villanova against Purdue. Midwest is Kansas versus MSU. So we're going to go to the Final Four. The Kentucky versus Cincy game, I have Cincy coming out on top because I want Kentucky. They're going to make a run to the Elite Eight, and people are going to be like, oh, they could do it this year, you know? And then Cincy's going to crush them. Xavier against NC State, I have Xavier winning.
Okay,
I just feel like you have to have at least one seed in your Final Four.
Yeah.
So, just
Well,
to
fair.
kind of make sense of it. Nova versus Purdue, I have Purdue winning. And then Midwest, I have Kansas against Michigan State. Michigan State winning. Cincy versus Xavier. Xavier wins.
Okay.
And Purdue against MSU. MSU winning. Xavier versus MSU. MSU wins.
Wow.
There we go.
Kind of crazy,
There-
but
there
it's
we go.
plausible.
I think it could happen.
Very
that.
different brackets
I got
across
what the
the.
NCAA looked like this year. Totally crazy.
You want to talk about totally crazy, Ben?
I think it's
Ours.
not unrealistic to think MSU could win it because unless you're Kentucky, they're one of those teams where it's like, oh, they're pretty good, but they had some losses where you kind of like you scratch your head a little bit, and it's
Yeah, you
like,
question
but
it.
they're a good team,
I would love to see MSU win it all.
so they can just
Oh, yeah.
make it
Love to
all the
see
way.
that.
All right, who would you rather see win it? Obviously, Arizona, Duke, or State?
When it comes to all those teams, I'd rather want to see Arizona. Just I want to see all the backlash people have because of all the allegations they have.
Yeah.
But
right,
when it comes to those two, yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'd rather see
That's
State
just
too.
your-
It's just the fact that I like Duke too.
It's
But I
being
would,
the
yeah, I
back,
would
yeah.
want State too.
yeah, always. So very different brackets across the board.
We
So
all pretty much
it's-
have different winners.
it all starts tonight with the playing games. So it's something to get excited about, but nothing's going to get really exciting until Thursday afternoon when it tips off. So
And that's where I tear up my brain.
Hey, and also, I think State's going to have a big advantage because they got the home court advantage in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
So, for this round and in the round of 32, they have it. So, and then they move on to the next region where it's located. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, that's the March Madness part of our show. And before we close it out this week, we got a couple questions for our guests here today. And I'll start it off. You just completed your season in Green Bay. What can we expect from Taybor Pepper in year 2?
Year 2. So I kind of had a crazy journey just getting into the league so far because I sat out for a full year after I graduated, kind of bouncing around to different mini camps and stuff like that, getting tryouts, and week 4, I got a call from Green Bay. Their long snapper got hurt, so I got picked up. Played 4 games for them, played really well, and then I broke my foot. So I had to go on IR for the rest of the season. I'm 100% now, so I'm ready to go on tryouts. My agent and I just talked this morning, and I was an exclusive rights free agent for the Packers. They decided not to tender me, so that means that I'm now pretty much essentially an unrestricted free agent. So I'm ready to get picked up by anybody. So whoever wants to take their shot on me, I'm ready. I've got game experience and ready to go.
Oh yeah, because I know here in Detroit, it's fortunate we just signed Don Hallback to he's been here 15 years. He's a great snapper. But any other team in the league it'd be awesome for you to join their team. So
You, my friend, have had a crazy career at MSU, and I have to read off the paper just because there is so much that happened to you. 2 Big Ten championships, winner of the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl in 2012 as a freshman, Rose Bowl in 2013, Cotton Bowl in 2014, and the College Football Playoff in 2015 as a senior. Tell us a little bit about each game, about the importance to you, and how you felt about playing in those games.
Yeah. So another stat that actually 2 more stats that I like to brag about. I'm tied with Mike Sadler and a couple more people for most career starts at Michigan State with 54. I think there's only 4 or 5 of us that hold that record. And I have also, this is a crazy stat that, there's got to be so few people that have done this. I've played at and recorded a win in every single Big Ten stadium.
really,
So
Wow.
you can go down the list. I've played everywhere and I've won everywhere. So
Fact
in the
check
Big
it.
Ten, yeah. So that's kind of crazy. I think one of the games that meant the most to me personally was my first Big Ten championship. My dad played football at University of Illinois in '89 and '90. He played with Jeff George, who
Very good
a lot of
very
people's
good.
parents would probably remember that name. Not a lot of people our age would know him. But
I know. Hey, he was a good quarterback. He was good.
yeah,
Good quarterback.
So my dad had a Big Ten championship ring. I think it was a 3-way tie that year. But I grew up looking at his championship ring, and whenever he moved me in at college, I told him, I said, whenever I'm done here, I'm gonna have more rings than you. And he was like, I hope you do. So winning that first Big Ten championship was big, and then especially winning the second one because I got another ring. But the one that meant the most to me as a Spartan was definitely the Rose Bowl. I had parents coming up to me, parents of kids that I was going to school with, because at that point it had been 25 years since Michigan State had gone to a Rose Bowl, and that's right around the time of when everybody that I was going to school with, their parents went to Michigan State.
Wow.
So so many of my friends and their entire families went out to California with us while we were out there, because the last time Michigan State went was when these parents would go. So it was just a huge family event. I had grown men coming up to me, crying to me, telling me how much it meant that the Spartans were going back to the Rose Bowl, and then for it to be the 100th and basically the last of the real pre-BCS playoff system. That's huge. So there's a lot of meaning in that. Rose Bowl probably meant the most to me, especially as a Spartan.
In addition to that stat, I remember reading that stat. I believe Darian Harris is tied with you guys
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, I
and
think
we
he
had
is,
him
too.
on. We had him on earlier
Yeah.
in the year. So that's That's very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's a very interesting stat. So.
All right. So, a few games have been mentioned. What about the Michigan game with the fumbled snap?
Now, does
That was
that kind of
2015.
sting coming out of your mouth as a Michigan fan, kind of?
I mean, a little bit, but it happened.
Because I purposely put that on there just
Yeah,
so you
I
can
know.
read that.
I know
So,
you did.
The miracle at Michigan.
Yeah. A funny story I like to tell is time was starting to wind down. It had just been a weird game because we were getting yards, but they weren't converting into first down. We didn't have any long sustained drives, so it looked like we were doing a lot of work, but there wasn't anything stat-wise to really show for it as far as touchdowns and stuff like that because we had more passing yards than them. They had more rush yards.
Yep.
But, when you look at the stats, we for sure really won the game, but considering what happened, it would have been understandable. But we were on the sidelines and the specialists kind of hang off to one side where the kicking net is, and time was winding down. There was like a minute left, and it was cold, so I took my helmet off and threw on like a beanie, and I was mad. I was talking some stuff, and Geiger looks at me. He goes, so Geiger's dad is a doctor at U of M's hospital, and Geiger basically grew up a U of M fan. He's a Spartan through and through now, so Spartan fans don't have to worry about that. But
Yeah.
I was talking, and he looks at me. He goes, "Dude, I was born and bred a University of Michigan fan. Weirder things have happened in this stadium." And I looked down and I was like, "Yeah, right. Like, get out of my face with that." And I look and I see Michigan's punt team coming on, and I'm watching, and and then it happens right in front of me, and I'm like, oh my God. I look at him, I grab my helmet, just throw it in the air, and then we storm the field. It was just the most unreal thing because he literally said that to me. He's weirder things have happened in this stadium, and I was like, you're an idiot. And then it happened.
I mean, I could probably, because I saw the interview with Connor Cook, and he said, he's like, what happened? What the hell just happened? That was probably the entire bench's reaction.
And I didn't believe it until the points went on the board, and then that's when I was finally like, oh my God, we won.
Because
Riley Bullough was on the bus so that was my senior year, so that season before was the comeback from Baylor in the Cotton Bowl. And then was the Michigan game after the last second field goal we had at Ohio State?
Yes.
Okay,
when Geiger went.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is 42
happened.
windmills. Yes.
That happened right before the Michigan game. So we get back on the bus, and Riley Bull was he goes, "Why does this keep happening to us?" He was like, "My heart can't take it anymore." He was like, "This has got to stop." But
No, talking about you guys. Jeez,
I know.
Jeez. But funny story with us on that game. It was the night because we were freshmen 2 years ago.
It was our homecoming.
It was our homecoming game. It was our homecoming dance, not our game. It was our dance.
I don't even want to be at
And
the dance.
we're walking into our the dance. I'm checking my my phone. I'm like, let's see if Cook's got some better put up some more yards.
Because you
more
gave up on
completion.
them, didn't you?
Yeah, I got
Because you're like, oh,
Everybody
did.
I'm like, there's 10 seconds left. They're gonna punt. What's gonna happen? I get on the dance floor. I refresh the phone. I'm like, we just won the game. We just won the
He
game.
ran to me, him, and everyone.
I was
just telling
running around the
everyone.
entire gym,
Yeah.
and everyone was just looking at my phone, looking at the replay of what happened. The entire gym was in shock. That night was
Whole
just.
gym went crazy.
It was just
my
unforgettable.
mom got me this thing for Christmas. It's just like a wooden block, and it has the words of the final call. It goes, "Oh, he has trouble with this,"
yeah.
and it's just on a piece of wood painted, and it's green and white and looks super cool. So it's definitely gonna hang up in my house one day.
It gives me chills every time I
Yeah.
rewatch that play. So.
So, what's the biggest transition from college to the NFL?
Biggest transition for right now, strictly long snapping wise, a lot of colleges now, including Michigan State, are running that kind of spread punt where there's 2 or 3 yards in between each guy on the line. That makes it so the snappers don't have any blocking responsibility, so we can snap, run down the field immediately. That's kind of how I made my name at Michigan State. I was one of those guys who was one of the first 2 down to kind of make the punt returner bounce it out one way or the other, get a tackle every once in a while. But in the NFL, there's a rule that you can't make progress down the field until the ball's been punted. So the whole snap and run down the field thing, like that can't happen in the NFL. And then also the guys are way too athletic on the punt block team because they would be able to get past their guy every single time in the NFL if we ran that spread protection. So the transition of having to never block and then having to block every single time is really hard. I know a lot of long snappers, they use this certain form where they completely lock their legs out, and it gives them really good power and speed on the ball, but it's way harder for them to get their head up to block. So that was the biggest transition. Coach Rosberg at the Ravens, my rookie mini camp, helped me out a lot. He was like, you can take the advice or you don't have to take the advice, choice is yours. So I took his advice, and I wouldn't be able to be snapping in the NFL if it weren't for Coach Rosberg helping me out with my blocking and stuff like that.
Wow, it's a tough transition. So.
Yeah. And the guys are a hell of a lot stronger too.
Yeah.
Way stronger.
Yeah. I know he meant a lot to me. I know he meant a lot to you. What did our dear friend Michael Sadler mean to you? To your life?
Sadler, it's kind of funny because for the first couple of years of like me being on the team, he was kind of like that big brother that like you hated because I mean he could do no wrong because he was super smart, he was athletic, he was a good punter, so it wasn't like one of those things like you could make fun of him because he was literally brilliant and he could talk to any girl he wanted to too, so it's not like he was ugly. So you literally couldn't pick on him, but every little thing he was able to like pick on you for. But I quickly realized, especially after he passed, that everything was to teach me a lesson to make me a better person. So I really thank him for that. So,
and it's because I asked Darian that same question when he was here with us, and he was just a wonderful person, wonderful teammate to have. And
I got to see a little different side of him than others because we were in the specialist room constantly. I mean, like, we spent more time in there. We know each other better in that room than anybody knows anyone else on the team, unless they're like best friends and stuff like that. But like, it's constantly like, and then at practice, everybody else is running drills the entire practice. We're on the sidelines for 2 hours, so we were literally like forced to be together almost 5 to 6 hours a day, all through the season, then through spring. So it's like those guys are like your brothers, and then some. It's just like you get to know them so well. So it's really funny.
Yeah. So and addition to Mike, he's got a charity basketball game coming up this Sunday on Saginaw. Darren Harris is going to be there. Keith Nichols is going to be out there. Former Spartan's going to be out there playing basketball for Mike's cause. So. Head out there. It's at 5 o'clock. So, you got another one?
Yeah. How long do you plan on playing in the league?
So, that's kind of a funny question for anybody that is in the NFL, because one of the first things they tell you whenever you step foot on college is that NFL stands for not for long. I think the average career for guys that actually play a game, so there's a bunch of people that try that never even see the field one way or the other, and then the average career for somebody who does see the field at least once is, I think, 3 years, which, I mean, it's kind of a long time, but it's kind of not. It's a little bit shorter than college. Some people get enough of the itch scratched, having 3 years. Luckily, long snappers, we don't get quite the same abuse on our bodies that linebackers, wide receivers, all linemen have. So we have longevity as a part of kind of ingrained in our job. So, my answer is until I'm done wanting to play football, like I still love putting on the pads. I love going out. I love hearing the crowd. So until that day comes, or until my body's just not able to do it, it is always nicer to be the one that says, "Hey, I want to be done." But sometimes it's out of your control. But as long as the team wants me, and as long as I keep wanting to play the game, and my body will allow me, 10, 15 years. Molbach's been doing it forever. Yeah.
Us specialists can last a long time. So, besides, all the friends that, colleagues that you have at Michigan State, was there anybody like on Green Bay that you're really close to from the time that you spent there?
Yeah, so I came in there at a weird time because it was during the season, so a lot of the rookies had like all summer to kind of be boys together and stuff like that, so and I didn't want to force myself into anybody's friendship or anything, so I kind of just let things come to me. One guy that I talked to quite a bit, actually two, was Aaron Jones. He was a rookie for Green Bay. He kind of made a name for himself this year. Super nice guy. He sprained his MCL, I think like a week or two after I broke my foot, so when we had workouts and stuff, me and him would be each other's like workout buddy, because I think it was my right foot and I think it was his left knee, so we kind of made one whole person after that, so we'd help each other out during the workouts, talk every once in a while, and then Kevin King was a cornerback, first round draft pick for Green Bay. Super funny guy. He was hilarious. He came up to me because I got signed on a Monday, practiced Tuesday, did a walkthrough Wednesday, and then played on Thursday. So it was like boom, boom, boom. He came up to me Friday. He's like, I saw you in the locker room before the games. He was like, you knew every word to like all the rap songs and stuff. He was like, you're pretty cool. I was like, thanks. It's just like just what I listened to, and so we kind of just made a friendship over that.
Green Bay's back to Green Bay. Green Bay made a couple moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Deshaun Kaiser from Cleveland, stuff like that. So we'll see where Green Bay goes. So.
You hold the world record for the longest snap, 37 yards. So, tell us how that feels.
It feels pretty cool. It's kind of funny. It's always been one of those things that somebody would do something online and say they had the longest snap, and I'd look at it and be like, I could do that right now, and I would just go out to. I was helping out with Celine's football team for a while. And so I saw somebody do it a couple years ago. I was like, well, I could beat that. And I just got down first try, beat it. I was like, it's no big deal. Then now that I'm a free agent, I kind of wanted to create a little buzz over my name. So I decided to do it and then film it and put it out on the internet. And I think my Instagram video has over 1,000 views. I can't remember if it's 3,000 or 1,000. And then my Twitter video has over 1,000 views. And then Guinness tweeted at me.
That was one of them.
So it was pretty cool. It got me a little bit of publicity for a little bit. Now I'm a free agent. Hopefully it'll work in my favor. But yeah, what I always say with stuff like that is it's nice that you can snap it really far, but the thing that is most important when you're a long snapper is just consistency of a 15-yard snap. It's you can have a guy who can just bomb it down. I'm sure there's people who can snap it over 40 yards. There's got to be people out there that can do that. But if they can't do it on Sundays, then it's
then what's the point?
Yeah.
Then what's the point?
Yeah.
As long as it's accurate for punter, get it
Yeah.
downfield, that's all that matters.
It's just a fun party trick.
So, and that wraps up for this week. Tabor, we appreciate it so much you coming in this week.
Awesome.
We hope you can come back some
Yep.
point this
Hopefully.
season or next season
Yeah.
when we're seniors.
Boy.
Depending on
Seniors.
depending on where you go. So we hope that whatever team picks you up, gets you the chance and become a superstar long snapper like Mulpine. So, so that'd be awesome.
Guys.
So that's all we have for this week. We'll be back next week. As always, keep it fresh.